All right, what is up, guys? It is Uncle Bob, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back, y'all. How's it going? Thanks for hanging out with me. We are here to continue along on our One Piece adventure. And I was so close today to doing this episode in the daytime, in the light, where you can see my beautiful face the whole time. But it just was not in the cards. I had a little bit of time where I was going to try to watch this before I was getting ready to take my kids to like an amusement park today. But sometimes duty calls. So that didn't end up working. But you know what? It is what it is. I had a great day with the kids today. Just hung out, chilled. Went on a whole bunch of rides. So it was overall a very good day. So I hope it's Sunday. I hope everyone, when this was recorded, it's Sunday. So I hope everybody had a good Sunday on this day. But we are here to continue along on our One Piece adventure. And as always, this is a watch along. This is, maybe I should just change the name of the playlist. We call this Companion Piece. This is a video that you are meant to watch alongside episode 282, is it today? I think it's 282 today. We're supposed to be watching 282 of One Piece, and you're supposed to watch it with me. If not, there is not going to be much reason to watch this video, because there will be no audio or video in any of the four corners. So which means all it's going to be is my face and my mouth watching the episode and talking about whatever it is I'm talking about at the time. So, not exactly the most stellar of content. So, watch it with me, or else I have no idea why you're on this. If you want something that would be better watched, I have 4 years worth of playing old school video games that you can feel free to check out, because that is something actually worth watching. So, crack-a-lack. But we are back for more One Piece. Like I said, today is episode 282. And last time we started going through this kind of filler flashback arc, which so far we've had 3 episodes. The first episode centering around Luffy's start to piracy. Mainly his interactions with Shanks and how Shanks' attitude kind of morphed him, and the importance that he was taught from a very early age to put on friendship and companionship. So that was the first episode. The second one was both Usopp and Zoro's. It's not really their backstories. It's more like their introduction to the crew. So, I guess since Zoro's is definitely a little bit shorter than the rest on how he joined the crew, his and Usopp kind of got smashed together, and that was fine. And then the last episode was Nami's entrance to the crew, which was basically, everything leading up to her asking Luffy for help. So, that classic moment. And I'm not sure if today is going to be just Sanji, or if it's going to be Sanji and maybe Chopper. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're going to kind of handle the other characters here. So I believe I had just taken a gander and just saw if this was another flashback episode, and it was. So, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with them taking the time to really establish, what these people joining Luffy's crew, what this means to him. Everything he was meant to put a focus on from his idol and mentor, I guess if you could call Shanks that, was based on companionship. So to see how everybody else, going back almost or more than 200 episodes to kind of revamp our familiarity with just what the Straw Hats mean to Luffy and what it means for him that he's not about to let Robin go. So it's I get why these episodes are probably not everyone's cup of tea. Nobody's really going to be clicking to watch episode 282 of One Piece. And I get it because it's just, it's a flashback. But for me, I got to watch it. You go down the list, you watch everything. And I'm fine with it. If there was any other time to do this, or if there was any better time, I don't know it, but I think this is a pretty good time to reestablish this. Like I said, I don't know what we're going to have. If we're going to have like Sanji this episode, and then like Chopper and maybe merged kind of with Robin's. Especially because like Zoro, Robin's intro to joining the crew was basically her just saying like, well, Luffy, you rescued me, and I did not want to be rescued, so now I have nothing else to do in life, so you got to take me with you now. And Luffy was obviously like, okay, welcome aboard. And that was basically all it took. And old boy was just fine with having another crewmate. But, now that he knows what Robin was willing to sacrifice for him, for the crew, he can't do it. And that's why, he had told her, like, listen here, baby girl, if you want to die, just come die over here. There's a good chance we're about to die just trying to get out of here. So what does it really matter if you die standing next to those losers, or you die with us the way that you were going to apparently anyway, if it comes to pass? Why not? If you're going to die either way, who gives a shit? Especially when at this point, obviously Robin did this to not put the crew in danger, but since they're already, like, they are the one who knocks. Like, Luffy is the danger. He's may not be dangerous to everybody, but, he's dangerous to whatever is standing in his way of what he wants. Whether it be food or freedom. The man will not take no for an answer. Well, I guess technically he will. He will take no for an answer if it is a genuine no. Like, he can stand genuine no's, but not ones where, he knows, or just anything negative, where, Robin saying she didn't want to go with them. She wanted to just die right there where they stood. And he's like, you are absolutely full of shit. That's not happening. So I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I think it was episode 274 where it's the walk up, where the crew walks up to go side by side with Luffy to stare down CP9. That one was probably the episode where I was like, this is where Luffy truly, for me, feels like the captain. Like, oh, captain, my captain. So I am definitely interested to see Sanji's episode, because I think that's what's coming next. I don't know if anything else is coming along with it. Like I said, I don't know if they're doing another mashup. I don't know if we have one more filler episode, or, being this one or another one. I really have no idea, and I'm not going to check because that is less fun. So, I checked last time. I'm not going to do that again because I never do that. So why should I do that, just because it's filler? Just watch the episode. If other people could wait a week to watch this, then I can be just fine. So, let's get it started, guys. Episode 282. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay. I'm finding almost all the stuff I need. Ooh, I think wait, my bad. I always skip the toy anim. Jesus Christ, there's a fucking moth in here. What the hell? All right, well, let's pause anyway. All right, might be. What I was looking for was exactly where I thought it was. All right. Let's get rid of the toy animation and Funimation shit. There's the kawaii girl. All right. Bung. But listen, I know some of y'all might be watching on websites that aren't exactly kosher. So, some of you guys might not even have that stuff on episodes. Listen, I've watched on plenty of such. I know you don't always get the intros and everything, so. All right. We're here where the intro is about, so you can't really even see. Yeah, useless. All right, 3, 2, 1, start. Gold Roger, the king of pirates, attained everything this world has to offer. Da-dum, ba-da-dum. Where's my... Oh, yeah. There's my Vegeta slider. What's up, Jeets? One Piece. Oh, my neck child. I haven't seen him in many a moon. There he is. I love him. Da-da-da. Ah, the iconic hat spin. We are on the cruise. We are. Timing that. Parting builds a man's character. Sanji and Chopper. Okay, so we're getting both of these. Okay, all right, Sanji and Chopper. So this might be the last of these filler episodes. Cool. Oh, hold on. We got to pause. Why are we paused here? All right, we're going. We're good. The all blue. But even your men said it doesn't exist. When the time comes, head to the Grand Line. The all blue surely exists there. Why does young Sanji sound like... Why does he sound like Chopper? Oh, God, Pearl. Oh, I forgot about Pearl. That's some good words on Luffy's part right there. Dying is not how you repay someone. Yes, of course there's a way. Beat his ass. That's how we solve this problem. Back when they were calling Luffy Chore Boy. That brings me back. That brings me back real far. I mean, it's supposed to. A spear of blind determination. Damn. I forgot his like spear thing fucking exploded. And then Zeph is over here like monologuing about a pirate's life and a pirate's fortitude, reliving them old days. Ah. That animation of fucking Luffy. Bro, these corny lines. I know an idiot who's holding back that spear. Wait, he's talking about me. He gave old boy all the centripetal force he could ever ask for and deal with. And I still to this day love that Luffy asked Sanji to join as his cook before he even had ever tasted any of his food. All these guys putting on that brave face. Sanji with the previous Zoro relationship. This don't catch cold. I know it's not the same as in the manga, but still, ripping off his arm just to save Sanji, especially in the like underwater, just trapped there, and it's like, well, I gotta save this kid. Yank off this leg. Fuck this shit. These two soft bitches. I love them. I can't wait for them to show at the end in the epilogue when Sanji makes it back. Get back to work. Listen, motherfucker works in the kitchen. He knows what it is. I forgot Chopper lived as like a weird wild animal for a while. I forgot he wasn't always like watched by the doctor. I mean, Robin did have somebody in her life like the doctor, just not after everything happened. Oh yeah, Chopper insisting on standing up for that flag. Where's that one scene? I remember the one. Where's the one? I even have a blue nose. Yep, there you go. Chopper even said it himself. He actually wants to go. So Luffy's just like, well, then shut the fuck up. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I forgot Sanji was like half dead. Oh, God, hearing Goku's voice actress not sounding dumb. I remember that. I remember how much that fucked with me. You know, I remember saying this back when I watched through Drum Island. I remember because, I've heard and was told different parts about One Piece, for 20 years almost. I was going to say 2 decades. Nearly like 18, 19 years. I had heard so much about a man dies when he's forgotten, like the whole Dr. Hiterlook speech. I had heard all about that one, and it was one of the moments that didn't affect me as much as it does most people, but this part here got me when I first saw it. Especially when Correa calls him my stupid son. Oh, I remember that was the part where I was like, ooh, that's getting me. The respect rabbits. Tony Chopper. And then he got to see Hirulook's research given form before he left. Letting him know everything's taken care of. My stupid son. The flag itself. And back to modern at the time animation. Didn't really notice like how much different the animation became until they're actually put side by side like that. Especially all of Zoro's stuff, which was like the second and third episode. And there's the to be continued. All right. I'm not sure if the next episode is going to be when it starts, but like I said, I am not going to check, and I do not want anything else to play and give me any sort of spoilies. Don't you do it. Like I said, I already have enough of the actual series spoiled. I don't need previews help with any of that. But yeah, guys, that was 282. I loved both Sanji and Chopper's joinings of the crew, so seeing those again was nice. I don't know if the next episode is where we start the real fun, but if it is, I can't wait for it. And if not, well then, we'll just watch whatever nonsense the show has in for us anyway. But no, it was good. I loved a little refresh of that. Also, it reminds me that the first mention of Blackbeard was in Drum Island, because they were talking about how Blackbeard had come to the island and had flipped some tables and been a pain in the ass. And by flip some tables, I mean kicked... What was the king's name? Walpole, that was his name. By flipping tables, I mean kicking Walpole out of the country, which, objectively good move, but, you know, not in the way that Luffy would have done it, because when they got there, the island was still, like, pretty fucked up. So, yeah, but just the idea that, Blackbeard was mentioned that early in the show, in a show that's, you know, now more than 1,100 episodes, you know, going to be nearing in the next year, you know, getting close to 1,200. Just knowing how early he was mentioned just makes me feel like, I obviously know how important his character is to quite a few events. But, sorry, trying to get something out from the back of my teeth. Had a bunch of popcorn earlier. But yeah, no, I just enjoy, like, how early you're hearing about him. And what's funny is that, you know, because I know enough about One Piece and what goes on in the future, I have my own little theory that I've been thinking. Oh boy. That's what I get. I have my own, I'm just moving my car into its parking spot. I have my own little theory for how I think the end of the show is going to go. Because to me, how I think it's going to go is, there's the character that's shown to be like the ruler character, Emu. And even though they're like the head of the world government, I think that, because one of the things that I guess I'm hoping Oda kind of corrects is like the end of Naruto and the ordering of the antagonists. That's the problem that I had, because a lot of people didn't like Kaguya. And to me, especially in light of Boruto and where Boruto goes, I actually think that as a franchise, Kaguya is actually very integral to the show. But I think I would have liked just the ordering to go a bit different. It's fiction, so you can contrive any nonsense reason for anything to happen the way that, you know, you want it to. So it's not like, well, how would you do that? Like, it's fiction. You could figure out a way. But, you know, I do think that Naruto Sasuke had to be the final fight. That one's in the correct spot. I believe Toby being the one, or Obito, I don't know why I called him Toby, Him being, the secret mastermind behind everything as far as like the on the ground characters go, he was the first of the main big bad guys. I think that was in the correct spot. The issue comes with Madara and Kaguya, because Kaguya was not really a part of the show, and Kaguya just became a part of the show and kind of screwed over and overshadowed Madara, who had been the real big bad basically since as far back as, the earliest parts of Shippuden, and maybe even, I'm not sure if there would have been anything in, I don't remember if there was anything in the original Naruto that would have alluded to Madara being alive or involved. I can't remember. But at least for Shippuden, he was basically always seen as like the main big bad, even when his name was just popping up and in legend. So for him to get the shaft over from a character that, as far as Shippuden went, wasn't really that important, I get why it rubs people the wrong way. Because to me, you would have had Obito be the first bad guy. Then Kaguya comes in as a big threat that's going to allude to everywhere Boruto's going to go. So then you have Kaguya, then you have the reverse, you have Madara fuck over Kaguya and take control, and then they beat him, and then Naruto and Sasuke fight. It's those middle two being flipped around that fucks everything up. So to me, the thing that I'm really hoping Oda does is do a good final order of the bad guys. Now, this is my little theory. I think the ordering of the final antagonists is going to be Emu, then Blackbeard, and then Shanks. Not because of all the Shanks is a rat memes, that's not the reason. I just feel like Shanks' sword is named Griffin. And I just feel like the way that his character is, from all I've heard, now maybe as I watch it and I see more of like his actual character and not just the things I've heard friends tell me about, he seems like more of like a guardian character, like a guardian of like, not peace, but like he's ensuring that things go a certain way. And not to like control fate himself, I don't think. It just seems like he wants to make sure that like there's the Wi-Fi hockey thing where that one admiral starts going after, I forget who he was going after, but the main point was that, Shanks was like, yo, these guys just had a real big fucking battle. They're all weak as fuck. And this is when you choose to attack? Are you really that scared of what's coming? Fuck out of here, pussy. And like, just things like that, where it's like, it seems like he wants things to be set up a certain way, but not in a controlling way, like a very small guided hand. A griffin, mythological griffin. Okay. It's a powerful and majestic creature, often associated with royalty, strength, and vigilance. Seen in various cultures, Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and are commonly depicted guarding treasure or pulling the chariots of gods. So, yeah, what I think is going to happen is, because now maybe I've heard, somebody told me that this statement doesn't exist, and I don't know where I heard it from, but I remember hearing around the time that I wanted to start watching One Piece, I remember hearing Oda say that he didn't want the final battle of One Piece to be overly serious. Now, maybe that is full of shit. That could be full of shit. I'm not verifying it right now. Maybe I will at some point and just see if if I can find where that remark was said. But I think that if that's true, I think it sets up the order to be Shanks last. Because the way that I think I want it to go is Emu is the first big antagonist taken out, because getting rid of the highest power of the world government isn't actually Luffy's goal in the final bits of the series. That's not what he's trying to do. That's his father's goal. But like basically anywhere else he goes, he's going to end up helping his father do this, because that's what he does. That's just what he does everywhere he goes. And his father is going to be fighting, maybe not alongside him, but like causes lined up. And that's going to happen. And then Blackbeard is going to come in and do Blackbeard things and take advantage of the situation. And Blackbeard has been set up, from everything I've heard and everything I've heard like friends and people on YouTube talk about over the years, is like, even when I think of the interaction that Luffy had with him, with the age of dreams never dies or something like that. Like, he's the one person that really that kind of understands Luffy on a far different level. It seems like he's the other person who his goal is to be the king of the pirates. And I think, as far as a rival goes and an antagonist, I think that sets up Blackbeard to be next. And then Shanks, to me, is, Luffy beats Blackbeard. Laugh-Tale is in front of him. He approaches to claim the One Piece. And basically, like Shadow Link, there stands one last test. And there will be Shanks playing the part of the Griffin, living up to his sword's namesake, and just saying, listen, my captain claimed this. Do you think you're as good as my captain? And I think they're going to have a fight for it. And if what I saw about Oda, how he wants his final fight, if what I heard isn't full of shit and that is how he wants it, that's kind of how I want their final fight to go. Or the final fight to go of One Piece. No hate, no malice, no bad feelings, just pupil versus mentor. Flat and simple. The two of them can be smiling the entire battle. And if they are, that's even better for the kind of vibe that I think I want. And I think that would be a great ending to me. Where it's just, you think you can claim what my captain claimed? Maybe. Let's take a look. And it's just crew v crew. And I would love nothing more than that. Honestly, that's kind of the way that I want Dragon Ball Z to end. Or, well, Dragon Ball as a franchise. That's kind of how I want Dragon Ball to end too. I want it to be Vegeta and Goku beat Frieza, beat Black Frieza Black, whatever. And then they decide, you know what? That's it for us. Or, whatever, they end the near of their lives. The big conflict is done, peace reigns, and the two of them are older men. At this point, both of their wives are gone because the two of them have longevity like a motherfucker. And they go to a planet and just purely rival v rival. No Majin, no fucking inferiority complex, none of that. Just two rivals giving it one last go. And especially as Saiyans, oh God, I would love that. That's kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe I just like what should be, in a way, like Naruto and Sasuke wasn't a friendly, but it was friendly. You know what I mean? Like, they were friends, and that was the point of them fighting. So maybe I'm just attracted to those kinds of things as a final battle. I don't know. But yeah, that's enough. I've rambled enough. So if One Piece ends like that, I would fucking give so many I told you so's to people. I would love it. But yeah, I will see you guys on Thursday for 283. So till then, y'all, peace.